What's going on? I'm Scar, and this is a Lifted Thought.
And we ain't gotta talk about it, but if you really wanna talk about it, then we can dig deep, deep, deep it in the surface. Is it worth it if I tell you that? Please, when everybody lurking like a serpent, it'll drive you mad. Please, peace, that's all I need. Jeez Louise, I got so many needs. I need to hit on the screen, just hit on this weed whenever you going through things. In your life, there's nothing really wrong with feeling right.
Welcome to Lifted Thought. Let's inhale, exhale, dig deep, and stay lifted as well. This topic is about people who give the most advice when they themselves can't or won't do it. Why do we do this? Because we all do it, let's just be honest. Because we live in fantasy land, we think that we can do something just as well or better even when we don't do it ourselves. Here are the few things that I've noticed people say when they're giving you advice. I also notice most of these people don't even ask to give you advice in the first place, which normally kills the receptive nature from that person you're trying to give that advice to. Number one, I did it a long time ago, so you should listen to me. Okay, so if you tell me you did something a long time ago, what does that mean for me? So what? 1983 is not 2023. Sorry. And if you stop doing it then, but think you can give me advice now, me being receptive to that advice is going to be very low, especially if you didn't ask me to give that advice. And most times, people don't normally ask to give advice. They just like to give it and think that someone should be receptive to it. That's not how it works. Another one, I know someone who does what you do, so that makes my opinions valid. I'm sorry. So what? Guess what? Give me their contact information, and if I ask them for their advice, then I'll be receptive to it. And people need to be able to receive advice before you give it. Most times I don't mind. I love talking to people. But make sure the person asks you for that advice, or at least that they are receptive. Don't just come off the tongue with advice. No one likes that. Not even yourself would probably like that. Another thing, you should do this and that for me. Do you think the person who got into this profession, who's doing what you can't do, who put in the hours when you weren't there, who learned whatever it was, the trade,
when you weren't there,
is getting ready to take advice from you to do something for you? That to me is mind-boggling. It just shows that we live vicariously. A lot of times we're in our fantasies and we tend to be self-centered creatures. Here's another one. I watch things like this all the time. And here's the thing. That's cool. Guess what? There's a lot of watchers of things. Most people watch. The least amount of people do. You're not really saying anything. That's not really a flex. That's not really why someone should listen to you when you are not an expert. If you're not an expert, you're not an expert. If you're an expert, you have more credibility. That's just how it goes. Last one. I know what sounds good.
whoa,
And this is specifically to me because I'm a musician. I have a lot of people giving me advice on songs they might want me to learn. Most people are kind about it. I want to make sure I say that. I've done this in the past. No one's innocent of this. And I want you to understand, I'm not just coming at this as if I haven't done this myself. This is about being able to self-reflect and be self-aware. If you're self-aware, you can change things. If you're not,
you can't.
but let's get back to it.
I know what sounds good.
I'm sure you do know what sounds good. Just like the other person out there knows what sounds good. Just like that person knows what sounds good. But I guarantee you, the person who put in the work to actually get the gig knows what sounds good more than you do, because they're the ones performing it. They're the ones doing it. There's nothing wrong with giving advice. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see someone do better or support someone, because a lot of the times we want to be able to inspire, help, say we were a part of something, support, all that. But make sure that the person wants your advice in the first place before. And that's all I'm saying. Much love to everyone. I actually wrote a song called Most Advice. So if you ever want to check it out, it's on all platforms. Shameless plug over. This was a Lifted Thought. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and I'll check you in the next video. Peace and love.